Welcome to my show, honey. Welcome to Soraya's Kitchen. When you're feeling blue, you don't know what to do. Carrying such a heavy load, honey, feels like you're all alone. You need a new recipe, well, I'm the one to see. Friday rolls along, you wanna hear my song, so welcome to my show. Welcome to Soraya's Kitchen. The hottest stove in the world. It's filled with yummy fixing. My Popeyes are fried. The food is scrumptious. The drinks are flowing and me, I'm even gorgeous. So welcome to my show. Welcome to my show. So welcome to my show. Welcome to my show. Welcome to my kitchen. My show is so hot, honey. The fish, the meat. Today we're doing the recipe of Soraya Sobreidad'S, Dame Más en mi boca, Sopa de Camarones with lovely brown tostones, not fried honey, but I'm going to show you how to make these. But Soraya Sobreidad'S, Dame Más en mi boca, Sopa de Camarones with tostones. Yummy! Tasty too! Hi darlings, my name is Soraya Sobreidad and welcome to Soraya Sobreidad'S Fierce Cooking Show. Now today's Friday, February 25th, darling, and it is really rainy outside here in New York. It's cold, it's rainy, and today's just the perfect day for this recipe that I have that I've been dying to do for weeks. It's Soraya Sobreidad'S, Dame Más en mi boca, Sopa de Camarones. That means, give me more in my mouth, soup of shrimp in Spanish. Soraya Sobreidad'S, Dame Más en mi boca, Sopa de Camarones, honey. It's a delicious soup, honey. And you know, it's the kind of recipe and the kind of food item that on a cold, rainy day like it is today in New York, you know, to come home from a hard day's work, honey, working and slaving, I need love. To come home and get some more love, honey, which is a nice bowl of shrimp. It's actually, I call it sopa, which is soup in Spanish, but it's actually like a stew. It's pretty thick. So it's a wonderful recipe. I'm dying to introduce this recipe to you, just dying. And so let's start with the ingredients. 3 stages of ingredients for this recipe. We're going to start with the stock, the soup stock ingredients for this recipe. Now I totally love and adore smoked pork neck bones, okay, and many of my recipes, my bean recipes, my rice recipes, and also my soup recipes. So you find the smoked pork neck bones in your supermarket, and we have some here. We're going to use 4 for this recipe, okay? And what you do with the smoked pork neck bones is that you boil them in water, okay, for about a couple of hours actually, to get all the flavor out of the smoked pork neck bones, and use that stock for the soup, okay? So we have about 4 smoked pork neck bones. You're so sexy, honey. Any meat is sexy, darling, you know what I mean? And also for the stock of the soup, we're going to use clam juice, all natural clam juice. Or you can use seafood stock. Or you can use seafood stock and the clam juice. Today I'm using the smoked neck bones, pretty much always with my soup and stews, and the clam juice today, okay? So that's one section of, that's the stock. We may add a little bit of water, but I doubt it. And then you need some chopped onions. They could be raw onions. These are frozen chopped. A bag of Italian blend vegetables. I love these vegetables with my soup. It has lima beans, carrots, cauliflower, and zucchini. I just adore it. I really do. Some Goya, minced garlic or whatever, garlic paste, fresh garlic, whatever turns you on. Sofrito. It could be any brand. Rican, any brand. I'm also using fresh cilantro, which is in the freezer, and I'll show you that later, because I like to chop it up a certain way, but I'll show you that. Spices. We're using the bijol spice, which is a derivative from corn for color. We're also using our friend turmeric, which is so sexy, gold color. Some adobo, some chicken-based powdered stock, like to flavor it, a little bit of ground cumin, and about a tablespoon of olive oil for this dish. Now, on the Weight Watchers points system, this entire soup dish will be about 34 points. It will be about 41 points if you consume the pork neck bones. I'm not going to consume the pork neck bones because of my waistline, darlings. Nice and trim. And then the carbs, the starches that are going into this recipe, is 1 medium red potato with the skin on, cubed. And we're using a ½ cup of white rice. Now, you can use brown, which will be so much better because, you know, I'm so brown with down. Down with brown, honey. Brown with down with brown. But for today, we're going to use the white rice only because of a timing issue. You know, I got to go somewhere, honey. Can't be spending too much time in the kitchen, just enough time to make a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stew. So these are the ingredients, and now we're going to go into prep. Let's go. Okay, darling, so we're going to start. I like my calderos. Actually, I don't like them. I love my calderos, okay, darlings? And so we're going to start our base with this, with this process. Now, what we're going to do is take a tablespoon of olive oil. Now, this recipe is for one, okay? So if it's for 2 people or more, just 1 tablespoon per serving, and you'll double up or triple up the recipe as I'm preparing it as you need to, okay? According to the amount of people that are going to enjoy this fabulous dish, okay, honey darlings? And then we have the Goya recao, all right? And we're going to add, let's see, 1, 2. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of that. Okay, and we're also going to add 3 tablespoons of the Goya sofrito. Okay, and while that's prepping, we're going to put the stove up on high. Okay, because what I like to do with this dish is get all the spices, all the herbs and spices, all those lovely Puerto Rican herbs and spices, because this is a Puerto Rican dish, honey, because I am a Puerto Rican diva, alright, darling? I like to get the herbs and spices browned. I like to get them cooked up. And then also we're going to, the spice we're adding is the turmeric. A couple of shakes of that. Let's say that was like 1/8 of a teaspoon. You know, I like to use my hands, darling. This is the vegetarian instant chicken based stock. A couple of sprinkles. I say that was like 1/8 of a teaspoon as well. Some adobo. I would say that would be like some shakes, honey. And just like 1 or 2 shakes of ground cumin. Maybe that was 3 or 4 shakes, darling. Okay, we're gonna have that starting to cook up and brown. That'll be our base of spices. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons, actually, yeah, about 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. And we're also going to add about 1/4 cup of onions, the frozen onions. Okay, my darlings? And that's going to start browning up. It's going to start browning up. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And the Bijon, the red food coloring. Okay. And then also the recao, the fresh recao, which is now frozen. What I do is I buy a big old amount, and then I put them in the, I buy a big amount, I clean them, and then I put them in plastic containers and I store them in the freezer. And then when I need them, I just chop them up from the container like I'm doing right now. And what am I adding? Maybe about 1/4 cup. This is like a great, great additive to the food. Besides the frozen Goya recao sofrito, I love adding this. Okay. Not the knife though. We're going to use this as our base, a little bit more coloring. You know, and I know for recipes we need to weigh and measure our spices. I'm not, I've said this from the very beginning with my recipes. I'm not a weighing and measuring girl. Alright, let's get serious here. I am not a weighing and measuring girl. So you're going to have to kind of work with me on the weights and measures with this. I like going on the fly. I've always cooked like that. I'm going to do a little cookbook, and I'll get more precise on things like that, like, you know, exact weights and measures of spices. But as you can see, I kind of just go on my own little path with the spices. So just hang in there with me. These are pretty approximate measures, and it still comes out delicious. You know, if you need to add a little bit of adobo at the end, then you do so. But for right now, this is the way we're going to handle the recipe. Okay? So let's go back to the stew. Ooh, honey, I'm so talented with this camera, right, darling? Let's go back. Can you see her? Can you see those spices, darling? Oh, yes, you can. You can see them now, darling. Okay. So what I like to do is get this brown. Get this where it's almost starting to saute, like a little crispy cooked. A little bit more coloring. We've used the frozen picao. We'll put it to the side. Okay, that's lovely. That's starting to boil up really nice. And then you know what we're going to do here? We're also going to add a half a cup of rice. We're going to add the rice now. Oh yes, honey, this is in real time. Can you hear me, darling? This is in real time. As that's browning up, I'm weighing out a half a cup of rice. I'm weighing out a half a cup of rice. I've just rinsed the rice. Some people don't know that you have to rinse the rice. I recently said to my friends, yeah, you know, I have to rinse the rice for the recipe. They're like, you rinse the rice? And I'm like, yes, darling, there's talc on that rice. You gotta rinse her. Okay? Alright, so we're gonna let that brown a little bit more and we'll be back. Okay, darling, so she's browning up. I'm gonna just turn it off for a second. Okay, the rice is in there, the recao, the sofrito, the garlic, the spices, the onions, okay, the olive oil, that's all in there. Now, what we're gonna start doing is putting the stock. And we're gonna get the measuring cup out again. Now, we have a half a cup of rice. So, this is the actual stock from the neck bones. Okay, there were 4 neck bones. I took out 2. There's 2 left. I'm not going to use the neck bones inside. I'm just going to use the stock because, you know, I'm trying to save calories. So we have a half a cup of rice. So usually for a half a cup of grain, you're going to double up on the liquid, right? So that's a half a cup of grain. It will be 1 cup of liquid. So we have one half cup. We have another half cup of the stock from the pork neck bones, my darling. Alright, so that should be enough liquid if I was just making a plain rice. But this is not a rice, honey, this is a stew, darling. So now we're going to go to Miss Clam Juice, honey. Miss Clam Juice. Miss Clam Juice. We're taking 2 bottles of her. We're going to put her in. Each bottle is 8 ounces. Now this, of course, is more liquid than what we need. I mean, but this is not rice, darling. This is a soup. So we're going to, you know, we need that liquid, honey. We need the liquid, girl. Child, please, honey. All right. So we've added the liquid. 1 cup of the pork neck bone stock. 16 ounces. 2 bottles of the all-natural clam juice, honey. She's fierce. She's all-natural. Just like me, darling. With the spices. With the herbs. I'll get some of this stuff here out of the way. The clam juice bottle out of the way, darling. Okay, so now we're gonna have her boil up. And let's see. I'm gonna add, let's see. I'm gonna add another cup. I'm gonna add a cup of water. Half a cup. Okay, and what we're going to do now, we're going to allow this to boil up. Now, this goes into stages, okay? We did the browning of, let's come back up. Oh girl. I'm handling this camera, honey, because when there's a will, there's a way, sweetie. Let's go through this. We did the stock, okay? We did the stock of the pork neck bone. We did the base of the spices with the olive oil, all the spices that I went through, right? The olive oil, the recao, sofrito, oregano, cumin, the vegetarian chicken base stock, the turmeric, the colorings, the adobo, all that good stuff, okay? We let that brown with a half a cup of white rice. Let it brown a little bit, brown and beautiful. And then we added the liquid ingredients, which was a cup of the pork neck bone stock, 16 ounces, 2 8-ounce bottles of the all-natural clam juice, and 1 cup of water. Now the rice is in all that, so now we have to let the rice cook. Where's the seafood? Well, we're adding the seafood, the shrimp, at the end. Okay, so this has stages now with the cooking as well. This is going to cook for about 10 minutes. Okay, and then we're going to add that bag, this lovely bag of Italian blend vegetables. We're going to add that in there for about 7 minutes, boiling. And then we're going to add the shrimp at the end. So we have certain stages to this. Dame más en mi boca, sopa de camarones. Okay, darling? And we're going to also serve this with some fried plantains on the side. And I'll show you how to do that without actually frying it, but getting that plantain feel, texture, without all the fat. Okay? Okay, I'll show you. Hey, darlings, we're back. We're 5 minutes in on the rice. And the stock and all that. Oh my gosh, she smells lovely. Ebony and ivory. It may be winter outside, but in my heart it's spring. How much love and pleasure, baby, can one lovely soup dish bring? Oh. Yes, honey. She's boiling up. 5 minutes in. We need to give it another 5 minutes on the rice. One thing we need to add, which I forgot to mention, honey, I'm sorry, darling, is Miss Red Potato. Miss Red Potato cubed. So the rice has been cooking, boiling in the stock with the spices, the lovely Puerto Rican spices, the olive oil, recao, sofrito, garlic, onions, cilantro. Oh my God, all these beautiful herbs and spices. Look at this, it's gorgeous. So 5 minutes in on the rice boiling, we just added the potato, so we're going to do another 5 minutes for the rice to boil up with the potato. We're going to put the temperature back up to medium, medium-high. Putting this timer on, timer, for another 5 minutes, and we'll be back. Woohoo, darling! While that's the potato and the rice is cooking, for the Soraya Sobreidad'S, Dame más en mi boca, Sopa De Camarones, I'm going to show you guys how to do the fried plantains on the side. Okay, that's not fried. So, I'm going to show you. Here we go. Okay, darling, for the tostones. So many people say, Soraya, how could you make tostones and not fry them, darling? How could you cook and not let your wig burn on the stove, darling? Oh, I'm so talented. Let me show you. Okay, here's a non-stick skillet with a little bit of plantain in it already that I put, which I took out. And the stove is on medium-high. And we're going to add Miss Cooking Spray. Cooking Spray is like my best friend. It really is. She is really my best friend. She's like Crisco lard back in the day was some people's best friends. Well, vegetable oil cooking spray is my best friend, honey. Hello. So we're going to put the skillet non-stick, the cooking spray on high. We have some beautiful plantain that's sliced like that on the side, okay, which I already did. And we're going to actually add the plantain. Actually, we have to add the plantain to the skillet in order to cook her. So we're adding her now. Okay, and we're going to spray the skillet once more and cover her. And then I'm putting the timer for 3 minutes. Okay, she's going to cook up nicely. Okay, darling, so the tostones are cooking. Okay. We want to brown them once on each side. They still need some time there. And so let's talk a little bit. Yeah, let's not talk. Let's look into the shrimp stew. Let's see what's going on over here. Oh, darling. She's cooking up nice. She's cooking up real nice. Ooh, child. She is looking really good. Let's get a close-up on that. Oh, yes, darling. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. The rice is cooking. Yeah, obviously give it a couple more minutes. That's cool. And we're going to put the timer up. And we're going to check our lovely tostones. Oh my God, honey, I am handling this camera, girl. Woo, child. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, now she's cool. See, now she's browning nicely. Turn her over. We're going to lower the heat. Okay, non-stick skillet with cooking spray. Okay, she's browning. Another 3 minutes on the timer. Okay. Now, let's look at the rice and the stew. I keep saying rice, but you know, I want the rice to cook a certain way for the stew. I don't want it to be fully cooked because we have to add the vegetables. That was a good luck chime from Angel's Honey, saying that this stew is going to be fabulous. Now, do you see how beautiful this is already with the skin of the red potato, the rice, the cilantro? Look at the color of the stock. Can you guys see that? Can you really see the color of the stock? How beautiful, how like golden color that is with the red potato. You see the chunks of green, which is the cilantro? It's so pretty. It's a pretty, pretty dish. It's going to taste absolutely lovely. What, darling? Honey, don't get dizzy with this camera floating around, honey. That's the way it is right now, darling. Okay? And actually, we could see the Sopa De Camarones, Soraya Sobreidad'S, Dame Más en Mi Boca, Sopa De Camarones, and we can see the tostones over there. So I'm going to leave the camera just like that. Honey, I might have to find me a fine-ass camera. Woo, child. A fine-ass cameraman to help me with this stuff here. But you know what? A woman's got the strength, honey, and a woman's got the power, honey, alright? One monkey don't stop the show, honey. Like the Honeycombs once sang, darling. What, mister? Oh, no. So, let's take a really good look. Can you see? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light that these tostones are done and the first stage of preparation? I'm going to show you the second stage now. The second stage of the tostones, honey. I mean, home-cooked meals are a labor of love, like I've always said, and they go in stages. You know, darling, you can get takeout. I don't know, I can get takeout and it's just not the same. It's like good sex. You can find a cutie in a club and hook up with them, right? And have sex with them. Is it really satisfying? To me, no. And to Junita Perez, absolutely not. But know someone for a little bit and you're dating them and you're getting to know them and you like them. You actually like them as a person and then you have sex with them. Well, first of all, you like them and they're pleasing to the eye. And you go out with them, you get good feelings, they're polite, they're kind, you know, they're not perfect. But you know, you go out with them and you like them and then you have sex with them and it's good. You know? And then you catch each other's vibe and all that and it gets better, darling. It gets better. It really does, honey. So, takeout food is really cute and it tastes yummy and you bring it home and it's all cooked and prepared. But for me, darling, it doesn't hit the spot like a home-cooked meal. Yeah, you gotta go through stages like, oh my God, this, that, and you gotta wash dishes and all that. But girl, it's worth it, honey. It's worth it. It's just like putting time into a relationship and then you get intimate with that person. It's lovely, honey. It tastes maybe as good as Soraya Sobreidad'S Dame Más en Mi Boca, Sopa De Camarones. Okay, so back to this, the recipes and the cooking and the love. This is an old plantain smasher from Santo Domingo, honey, when I went to the Dominican Republic, honey. I and Junita Perez went to the Dominican Republic back in the 80s with Junita Perez's family. We had a grand time. This thing is like some 20 years old, it's still working, okay? So, the plantains were sliced, cooked in a non-stick skillet with cooking spray. for about 3 to 5 minutes, browning both sides. And then you put it here in the little plantain smasher, and you just press and it comes out nice and flat. Look how cute. And it's brown. If it's brown, I'm down, darling. And if it's not brown, I'm kind of down too. So, as you can see, I'm doing them one by one. Into the little Dominican plantain smasher. Dominicans are fun, honey. When I was at that trip, every man and woman I saw in Santo Domingo was gorgeous, beautiful, brown people. They were gorgeous, lovely, lovely, lovely. And I went with Janito Perez's family. His mom and dad were alive, of course, at the time, and they were healthy. And oh, it was such a beautiful trip. One of my favorite trips with Janito Perez and meeting his family. They really didn't know quite about me much back then. Unfortunately, they didn't get to really meet me now that Janito Perez's father passed away. Well, some 6 years ago. Oh God, it's been so hard for Janito Perez. You know, you never know what it's going to be like when you lose your parents. And then his mother was out with Alzheimer's now. She can't see these lovely videos that he's doing with me. I mean, it's a shame. A shame, darling. I'm going to eat this one because I'm hungry. A shame, honey. But I'm sorry, honey. Así es la vida. Things happen. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. And it's definitely made Janito Perez stronger. Let's go to the stove. So the tostones are here on the stove. But you know what? Because we're making this in conjunction with the soup, I'm not going to finish this yet. Okay? But as you can see, the tostones have been smashed down with that lovely Dominican smasher. I'm looking for a Dominican smasher, honey. Smash me, honey. But no, not physical smashing, but you know what I mean, darling. Make passionate love to me. In an intimate relationship setting. Oh, darling. So we're going to leave those tostones for later. That's going to be like the last thing. Ooh, child. The soup has been cooking. Oh, yes, darling. Look, 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 look. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Look at the soup, darling. Okay, I'm going to lower her. Now, she's cooked a total of 15 minutes. With the potato and the rice, okay? Now it's time to add the Italian mixed vegetables. Okay, now the vegetables are not frozen. I let them thaw out. Oh, I love these vegetables. And this is what I mean. That it's gonna be, sorry, I put the bag up like that. So, can you guys see all that? The vegetables have been mixed in. Yes. Alright, I'm going to add some more stock. Alright, I'm going to add another 8 ounces. And this is just the way it is when I cook, darling. I'm going to add another 8 ounces. Let the temperature up. 8 ounces of what? All natural Miss Clam juice. And we're going to get the fire up because we're almost done with this dish. Oh my God, we're almost done. It's going to be 7 minutes of the Italian mixed vegetables. Yes, darling. 7 minutes. And I'm going to cover her. Once the 7 minutes are up, we're going to add the shrimp. We're adding 14 ounces of shrimp. We're adding 14 ounces of shrimp. You see how big this pot is? I can eat this entire pot. Oh my God. It could really serve 2. Soraya and Janito. She's just boiling up beautifully. Oh goodness. It's time to add the shrimp, honey. That's the last stage of this. Oh, we're going to lower this. Lower. Oh my God, it looks beautiful. You guys will see that in a second. I've got a bowl of shrimp here, honey. 14 ounces of cleaned, deveined shrimp, darling. It's just beautiful and gorgeous, like you. So we're adding the raw shrimp, of course, uncooked shrimp, fresh. Just caught it today, honey. I was out fishing for shrimp. Ooh. Shrimp cooks really, really, really fast. Oh my God, this is a big old pot, honey. Maybe I need to take some of this to the appointment that I'm heading to. I'm seeing a lovely friend of mine, and she'll love some of this soup. Maybe I'll take some time. Very nice. I'm gonna put up the heat like medium. Okay, good. It's starting to boil already. And we're gonna cook this up for about 5 minutes, and we'll be back. Set the timer. 5 minutes. And we'll be back, darlings. Ooh, honey, the timer's going off, darling. We're done, girlfriends. Let's take a look. Oh, let's turn the heat off, darling. Make sure those lids don't fall off the stove like they did before. Oh my God, honey. Look at that. Look at Soraya Sobreidad'S, Dame Más en mi boca, Sopa de Camarones. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. It's just lovely. Goodness gracious. It's just divine. Divine. Dame más en mi boca, sopa de camarones. Oh my God, I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this dish. Honey, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to get my palm tree dish out right now. Spoon out a serving of this right now. Now, darling, I'm telling you, see this big old pot? I could eat this whole thing, but I'm not going to eat it right now in front of all of you. Not all of it, anyway. I'm going to have some of it. But you see, I'm just putting this serving to the side because we're going to finish the tostones, like I was saying. So while this cools down just a little bit, while this cools down, we're going to do the tostones. So let me cover this, put this serving that I'm going to have with you guys in a couple of minutes to the side, and then we'll do the tostones. The tostones. A non-stick skillet with cooking spray. You know, we went through the first stage. We had the plantain, we sliced it, we put it on the non-stick skillet with cooking spray for about 3 to 5 minutes, turning it, browning each side, making sure it's cooked, smashing them with the Dominican smasher on you from Santo Domingo. And they turn nice and brown. I mean, we didn't deep fry them. And then I like adding my spices while it's hot on the stove. So this is garlic powder. You can always add the spices, later if you need more. If you need more of a garlic taste or more adobo, whatever the case. But I like cooking my spices. They say that actually it's good for you. It's a little healthier to cook up the spice. Whatever that's worth, darling. But I like doing that. It adds a little, kind of like that burnt little brownish taste to the tostones. You see how beautiful that is? Alright, they're not deep fried, and they're gonna be crispy. They're not gonna, if they're deep fried, they're gonna be crispier, but this is fine for me, and it's low fat. And I'll show you how to do the sweet plantains in another recipe. But they're done, so I'm gonna turn it off, and now we're gonna have this with the soup. Woo! It's done, honey. The soup is done. I'm so happy the soup is done, darling. It's done because I'm hungry. I've been working all day, honey, working and slaving. I need love, honey. Soon as I get home from work, I'm gonna make a fierce sopa de camarones, and you can feed it in my boca, cabrones. Oh, child, honey. Soup is done, honey. Soon as I get home from work. That's a great song, isn't it? Anyway, darling, here we go. Let's make the taste test now. Some people like putting hot sauce on their soup, on their stew. I do too, but I'm not doing it today because I have somewhere to go after this. I don't have. Anyway, darling, do you take one of the tostones? This is the way I like to do it. And put some of the soup with that chunk of shrimp, honey. That fierce shrimp, honey. Ooh, Lord, honey. And this is usually a 2-biter. For Soraya, it's a 1-biter. I'm sorry. In some ways, I'm very feminine. In some ways, I'm not, darling. Here we go. My God. Delicious, honey. Soraya Sobreidad'S, dame más en mi boca, sopa de camarones. Está rico. Está tan bueno que ahora estoy hablando en español. Okay, it's so good, and it's got all those Puerto Rican spices. I'm ready to speak Spanish for the rest of the day, honey. Girl, this is fierce. Not because I made it. I know I say that in every cooking show. Man, I'm still talking with my mouth full, honey. Like I said, in some ways I'm very feminine. In some ways I'm just a Soraya Sobreidad'S hanging out too much with Janita Perez, an eater. But darling, soup is delicious, darling. Soup is delicious. I love it, honey. I love this on a cold day like today. It's rainy out. I'm gonna turn off this camera and enjoy the soup with some Diet Raspberry, Diet RITE soda. I love Diet Raspberry, Diet RITE soda. It's so delicious with this. Lovely, lovely. So thank you so much for tuning in on the cooking show. I know it's a little like with the camera and stuff. I've been doing the shows totally on my own now, which is kind of cool. I'm gonna learn how to do them like that. So I'm wearing a lot of wigs. So, you know, pardon me if the camera and you're like, oh my God, you know, what is she doing? The lid just dropped on the floor. It's okay, honey. It's real time. Nothing's perfect. Life is not perfect. The only one that's perfect, honey, is the powers that be. That one power, that higher power, honey. I don't want to get religious and spiritual on all of you, but that's the only thing that's perfect in my life. Everything else is fallible, and it's just the way it is, honey. But one thing that's almost perfect, kind of perfect, pretty perfect, is this soup. This soup came out lovely. And then I gotta run, honey. I know if you got things to do too, honey, but the soup is so good. My God, it's not a whole pot. I'm gonna eat the whole thing. Oh my God. Thank you for tuning in. Soraya Sobreidadas, dame más en mi boca. Sopa de camarones, papi chulo. Ay, qué rico. Dame más. Ok, tú lo ves. Mira, ahora mismo.